This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey. The time right now is 4:27 here on our Wednesday. We have several stories to get to before we get into our show today, starting with some breaking news we are following. This is happening near the campus of IUPUI. We do have a building here on fire, and you can see the flames from our video that our crew at the scene there shot just moments ago. We know that fire crews are there at the scene. This is off New York, again, near IUPUI's campus. And there was some sort of cross on the front of the building if you're looking at satellite images, but we're not exactly sure if this church is in use right now or what exactly this building is used for. So we'll be keeping you updated as we learn more. This is near Elder Avenue if you're familiar with the area. So we'll continue to keep you updated on the ongoing effort to battle that blaze. We do want to take a turn right now, though, to our forecast for today with Todd Clausen. Todd, we know it's been kind of more of the same each and every day here, but I know down at my home in Greenwood, we've had quite a few thunderstorms in the afternoon hours.
You know, and I've missed somehow all of them here at my home, Lauren. I don't know how that's happened. I could hear the thunder, I could see the dark clouds, and then I hardly got any rainfall the past couple days. So I'm out there watering the flowers each and every day, and the lawn's starting to dry up as well. Today, no different. More spotty storms in the afternoon hours. Otherwise, we are looking at hazy sunshine and temperatures that will be in the 80s and 90s once again today. We're in the 70s currently, going up to a high of 93 in the city, with those spotty storms developing. Once again, they should be mainly rainmakers with some lightning mixed in. Yesterday, we did have a couple severe thunderstorm warnings, not out of the question, but most of these storms should stay below severe limits. We'll talk more about them for you coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look at the latest coronavirus cases here in the state of Indiana. These were reported at the lunch hour yesterday, and we'll get an update again today. We know we have 314 new positive cases reported, 19 new deaths reported as well here in the Hoosier State. Total number of cases reaching more than 48,000 here in Indiana. The death toll reaching more than 2,500 since the pandemic began. And we've had more than 530,000 people tested in the entire state, and right now the positivity rate is at a 9.2% of those tests are coming back positive. Of course, we'll keep you updated on the coronavirus and how it's impacting the state of Indiana. We do want to take a look right now at how a booming area is impacting residents. Hancock County is one of the counties across central Indiana that is booming, with business moving to the area, residents moving to the area, a lot of people trying to leave the city right now. And so we're looking at how new development is impacting the community. Kelsey Anderson will have more on that story. Plus, we'll have news, weather, and traffic coming up right here on Good Morning Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 4:30, protests continue for a second day down in Bloomington, calling for justice after an alleged racist attack this past weekend. This morning, we know the FBI is joining that investigation, the very latest on that case, and what we're learning about the car that drove into protesters. And that Lake Monroe attack is bringing attention to an old case down in Monroe County, what we know about IU student Joseph Smedley's death 5 years ago. And the Indiana fever season has faced some hurdles already with COVID-19, so we're checking in on the team as they prepare for this unprecedented season. But first, here at 4:30, we want to thank you for joining us on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey. We are halfway through the work week, and Todd Clausen is at home this morning. And Todd, we have kind of more of the same in the forecast. It has been hot and sticky out there.
Yeah, and that continues here, at least for another couple days, Lauren. Yesterday, 91 degrees was our high temperature. Felt warmer than that, obviously, with the humidity around. And today, the actual temperature is probably potentially going to be a few degrees warmer, forecasting a high of 93 degrees. Right now, temperatures are sitting in the 70s anywhere you go across the area. We're at 76 in Indy, as well as Muncie. 72 is the current temperature in Bloomington. And here's a live look from downtown off to the west. And once again, you see that haze, and that's simply just all the moisture that we have here in the atmosphere. The satellite radar picture pretty quiet. That's just some feedback north of Lafayette. That is not any rain shower activity. And across the Midwest, we still have the big area of high pressure that is in control. And so we'll manufacture some isolated storms once again this afternoon during the peak heating of the day, but they should be spotty. You know the drill at this point. High temperatures anywhere from about 91 to 95 degrees with heat index values, Lauren, anywhere from 95 to 100 degrees.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads this morning. This is I-65 and West Street and MLK as you're heading into the downtown area, maybe north of downtown or from the northwest side. You can see your commute is a smooth one this morning. No major issues to slow you down, but of course, we'll continue to monitor things and keep you updated. The good news I can tell you around the metro area right now, no crashes to slow you down. We do want to get, though, to breaking news this morning, and this actually could impact your commute near the downtown area. Firefighters are battling a large fire on Indy's near west side. This blaze started around 3:30 at a building on the corner of New York Street and Elder Avenue. That structure was quickly engulfed in flames, and fire crews, they're out there right now still working the scene. We will continue to update you as we learn more information from our crew there.
You know, if we don't act, we're telling folks that we're a community where you can be violent, where you can run down your neighbor, where you can lynch someone in the street.
Protests in Bloomington continuing for a second night, demanding that those involved in that alleged racial attack can be charged. The FBI is now investigating this alleged assault. The victim and the community supporters are calling for justice. That attack was seen in this viral video. It happened back on July 4th at Lake Monroe. Vox Booker is the black man seen here being held against a tree, and his attackers threatened to lynch him. The incident is now getting national attention.
The moment necessitates that I'm strong. It's about more than just me. I'm here. I survived. I'm not a hashtag. I have an obligation to act to make sure that no one else is put in that situation.
Protesters last night say they will continue to support Booker and fight for those involved to be held accountable. This after a car drove through the crowd Monday night, hitting at least 2 people. Protest organizers say they brought a security team in last night to make sure that they can continue to send their message safely and peacefully.
The whole goal is just we know we're going to be peaceful. We want to make sure that outside people aren't coming in and making our event less peaceful.
The Bloomington Police Department did release these pictures of the people they're looking for in that car incident. Take a good look at your screen. If you recognize the person in the glasses, hat, and mask, or the person in the driver's seat of the Toyota Corolla, or the car itself, please contact the Bloomington Police Department. That car is a Toyota Corolla with Indiana plate WMX 440. In the wake of Saturday's attack at Lake Monroe, a nearly 5-year-old case down in Monroe County is now getting new attention. More than 83,000 people combined have signed 2 petitions calling for further investigation into what happened to Joseph Smedley. The 20-year-old IU student's death was ruled as a homicide. His body was found in a lake just east of Old State Road 37 in October of 2015. Smedley's sister, Vivienne, has been advocating for more transparent investigation since just months after her brother's death. You can find a more in-depth report on our case right now at our website. Just go to theindychannel.com. It is 4:35 now to the latest on COVID-19 here in Indiana. We do want to take a look at those updated numbers from the state health department. 314 new cases and 19 new deaths have been confirmed. 48,626 total cases have been reported in our state. More than 2,500 Hoosiers have died from the virus since this pandemic began. 530,000 people have been tested for COVID-19 in all, and 9.2% of those tests are coming back positive. Dozens of Florida ICU units are at full capacity, and that's just one of the signs that show the coronavirus pandemic still has a tight grip over the United States. Dr. Anthony Fauci also issuing a new warning to the country, and John Lawrence has more.
There were more than 58,000 new COVID-19 cases confirmed in the U.S. Tuesday, according to Johns Hopkins University. That is a new single-day high.
We're not knee-deep. We're hip-deep, and if we don't do something dramatically, we'll soon be neck deep.
An updated model from the University of Washington predicts more than 208,000 Americans will die from the virus by November 1st, partly because of the surge of cases in Florida, Arizona, Texas, and California.
The other factor is school openings that we expect in August and September. That's going to increase contact rates on current trajectories.
Although the Trump White House is calling on schools to reopen this fall, at least 24 states are adjusting their overall reopening plans due to the pandemic.
This is not a benign illness. Yes, for most people, they're going to be fine. But some people are going to be really sick, and some people are going to die.
President Trump, in a tweet Tuesday night, touted the COVID-19 death rate is dropping, But a member of his coronavirus task force says the U.S. still needs to be cautious.
It's a false narrative to take comfort in a lower rate of death. There's so many other things that are very dangerous and bad about this virus. Don't get yourself into false complacency.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
At 4:37, the city of Indianapolis and Gleaners Food Bank announced they are partnering up to offer free masks. This comes as Marion County will require masks starting tomorrow. The organization says that the free masks will be given to those receiving food assistance at local pantries. Agencies are able to request them when they place orders online. Indianapolis has also partnered with the Red Cross and Indigo to distribute the masks. The community continues to step up to fill the need for personal protective equipment as well. The Beech Grove Fire Department received a PPE donation from the retailer Northern Tool and Equipment. The fire chief says that things don't seem to be slowing down, so they need to be prepared for the long haul.
The pandemic's gonna be here for a while. It's brought on different challenges. We're just greatly appreciated to our community partners reaching out to us to help provide us with much needed equipment to combat what we're dealing with at this time.
Northern Tool and Equipment is also donating proceeds from the safety mask sales to a first responder support group. Well, the Pacers and Fever are both heading to Florida this week as each of their leagues get ready for a summer start. For the Fever, the trip is starting later than expected due to COVID-19, and RTV6's Brad Brown has more.
With Bankers Life Fieldhouse under construction, the Fever were all set to play this summer at Hinkle Fieldhouse.
A lot of great things, I think, from the organization side. You know, the coaching staff has been great, with all the highs and lows and everything that we've been dealing with, as we all have been dealing with.
But like most everything else this spring, those plans never even got a chance.
Finally, I see the end. I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and so I'm excited.
The coronavirus detour will be sending the Fever and the entire WNBA to Bradenton, Florida. The prestigious IMG Academy will be the host campus for the revamped season.
I think we have a chance to be very good this year, and I also think we have an opportunity to get better each and every time we hit the floor. I think that will be really telling in terms of our overall success. How much can we improve from day to day, from game to game?
New head coach Marianne Stanley sees this as just another challenge in trying to bring the franchise back from the bottom.
Everybody has managed the curveballs and the changes really, really well. I mean, all of you have done so in your lives, and I'm sure you can appreciate how difficult this has been on players who were anxious to get started, quite some time ago.
The Fever's rookies and veteran additions have been working out in Indy the past couple of weeks. There is a lot of potential with each group.
We are a relatively young team. I mean, if you take that leadership off the top, we're a real young team. So I think the blend is nice. Okay, we're kind of getting the best of both worlds, but having most of the roster back from a year ago is significant.
The WNBA is dedicating its season to social justice initiatives. Fever players and staff have been active in the local Black Lives Matter movement, hoping to make an impact far beyond basketball this summer.
We've been really blessed. I feel really blessed to be in an organization that everybody supports us. And from our side, from the Pacers side, really making sure that our voices, our players' voices are heard. And so the next step is, really trying to figure out what it is that the players want to do. We understand that. We know it's going to be very unique, but I think it's really a big opportunity. It's an opportunity as a league. It's an opportunity for us to, do things that maybe we wouldn't have been able to do before.
Monday, we got news that 2 Fever players tested positive for COVID-19, the unnamed pair among 7 league-wide. That means the team's departure for Florida has been delayed until the end of this week. The rest of the teams arriving down in Bradenton on Monday and Tuesday. The WNBA has yet to announce any specific dates for the season restart down there for this summer, but it is expected that games will begin in Florida the final week of July. Brad Brown, RTV6 Sports.
Brad, thank you. With just over 4 months to go until the general election, it's unclear if voting by mail will be an option for all voters. Coming up, why some companies making election ballots say time is running out. And as Atlanta seems crime almost doubled, they're calling in the National Guard to protect some of the city's buildings. What the city's mayor believes is the cause of the increase in violence. Todd.
And once again, yesterday, Lauren, temperatures climbed up into the 90s for the 6th time this month alone. Only one day this month has not reached 90 degrees, and that day it made it up to 89. So it's been a very hot start to the month of July, and it's going to continue for the next couple days. We'll talk all about it coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 4:41. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV 6.
Hiring Hoosiers only on RTV 6.
Welcome back. With the general election just 17 weeks away, companies that print mail-in ballots are warning that states and counties need to make a decision about voting by mail. Jeff Ellington, the president of Runbeck Election Services, a company that prints ballots, says it's a complex process to get the ballots and the envelopes approved. States must decide what the ballots will look like, and if the U.S. Postal Service must approve a design for the envelopes. Normally, this is finished by the middle of July so they can be mailed out in time, and many are running out of time.
People just need to make up their mind. The counties and the states need to decide if they're going to do it or not going to do it.
Well, Ellington says companies won't be able to print last-minute ballots for states that decide too late. We reached out to the Indiana Secretary of State's office, and there has not been a decision made yet on whether they will authorize statewide no-fault absentee voting. Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro has tested positive for COVID-19, and his diagnosis comes after he dismissed the severity of the pandemic. Bolsonaro says that he was given hydroxychloroquine to relieve muscle pain, and otherwise he says he's got a lung scan back which came back clear. Bolsonaro says from now on he will avoid having in-person meetings and will do everything through video conference. Here in the U.S., the debate over the next coronavirus aid is underway in Congress right now. Most of the relief from the first stimulus package is set to expire at the end of this month. However, the dollar amount this time around is the source of tension. Democrats are eyeing a deal worth $3 trillion. That would focus on extending the enhanced unemployment benefits. Meanwhile, Republicans want a lower price tag at $1 trillion that would center around liability protections for businesses, schools, and doctors. Lawmakers will resume session on July 20th. Kanye West's fashion brand Yeezy reportedly received between $2 and $5 million in government coronavirus aid loans. The Federal Payment Protection Program was intended to help small businesses keep workers employed during the shutdowns. Reports first came out on Monday when the Small Business Association released data on companies that were given more than $150,000. West has previously claimed to be a billionaire and recently said that he was running for president. Yeezy didn't immediately respond to requests for comment. The time back here at home is 4:47. Let's toss things over to Todd for a check of our Wednesday forecast. Hey, Todd.
Yeah, Lauren, good morning to you. Good morning, everybody. On this Wednesday, we continue with potentially our streak of 90-degree temperatures across the area. Once again, forecasting a high of 93 degrees, so we should make that another 90-degree day for us here on July the 8th. Only one day this month have we not hit 90 degrees, and that was on July 2nd, and that day got up to 89. Heat index values, once again, anywhere from 95 to 100 degrees, and with the heat and humidity, once again, we are going to have more storms popping up on an isolated basis, but the pattern shift that is set to arrive on Friday. More on that in just a second. To get you out the door here this morning, temperatures are in the 70s. 73 in Greencastle as well as Martinsville, 71 in Richmond, 74 is the current temperature in Tipton. And as we work our way throughout the day, we're already pushing 90 degrees by the time we get to the noon hour. And then we're easily into the low 90s once again this afternoon. With those isolated storms building in the past 2 days, they basically started right around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we dealt with them most of the afternoon until the sun starts to set in the evening hours, and then they fade away. And I think today is no different. It's going to be pretty much the same. Now, you do see some radar returns north of Lafayette. That is just some false returns. That is not any rainfall up there as of yet. And as you look across much of the Midwest, there's not a whole lot going on. So it's another quiet start to our day. But watch how these storms, again, blossom during the peak heating of the day. Here we go into the afternoon hours, and they start start to expand across the area, and then they'll continue to blossom through the 3 o'clock hour, 4 o'clock hour, 5 and 6, and then they start to fade away as the sun starts to set. So it's another day where it's not a question one or two of these storms could be on the strong to severe side, but most of them are just rainmakers with a little bit of lightning mixed in, and it's really feast or famine. As Lauren said earlier in the day or morning, she got a lot of rain at her house from these storms, and I live in Indianapolis, and I've hardly had any rainfall in my neighborhood. So it's just a matter of where they set up shop and dump the amounts of rain that they can in this very tropical-like atmosphere. The storms fade again this evening with temperatures in the 80s. Tomorrow's the day very similar to today at 93, but as you look at your 7-day planning forecast, you do start to see some changes. 89 on Friday. The storms become more numerous as a front comes through, and then once that front goes through, it's slightly cooler as we head into the weekend with lower humidity as well, and just the chance of a stray storm on Saturday and Sunday. Nothing major at all, but then the heat, that's going to start to build back in by the middle of next week. So it's just a brief reprieve from the temperatures in the 90s as we work our way through the weekend and into early next week. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look right now at traffic as you're heading out to start your Wednesday. This is our INDOT traffic camera at I-70 and Post Road. Just a heads up as you travel through this area, we have some ongoing road construction planned in the left lane eastbound side as you're traveling past Post Road. That's set to last through July 15th. It looks like right now everything is moving along up to speed, both eastbound and westbound over here on the east side. We'll continue to keep our eyes on your roads, though, throughout your Wednesday and keep you updated on any delays. Well, Georgia has deployed its National Guard to keep an eye on some key buildings in Atlanta. This after the state's governor declared a state of emergency because of what he described as a surge in violent crime. The National Guard will be used to monitor Georgia's state capitol, the governor's mansion, and the state patrol headquarters. The governor says that they will provide support so the state's police officers can focus on crime fighting, murders, and shootings. Those have doubled in Atlanta over the past 4 weeks. That's compared to this time last year. The city's mayor, Keisha Lance Bottoms, blames the violence on what she calls a perfect storm of frustration from the pandemic and police brutality. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says the U.S. is considering a ban on Chinese social media apps, and that includes TikTok. He made those remarks during an interview with Fox News' Laura Ingraham. Pompeo says that people should only download the popular video app if they want their private information in the hands of the Chinese Communist Party. TikTok is owned by Beijing-based ByteDance, though the app has previously said it operates separately from them. It also claims its data centers are located outside of China and not subject to Chinese law. South Korea is thanking healthcare workers with a stunning show. Just after the break, a look at their giant drone display. And Hancock County is one of the fastest growing counties in the state of Indiana. A new Amazon warehouse and other major development projects are in the works. So coming up, all new at 5 o'clock, how the community is reacting to the county's big plans. It's 4:52. We'll be right back.
Save an extra 15% when you switch by October 7th.
Welcome back. South Korea has put on a show in the skies to say thank you to its frontline medical workers. It involved about 300 drones to create this beautiful display above the capital of Seoul over the weekend. It was a surprise for the city, and that's because the government wanted to avoid creating any big crowds. The drones formed incredible pictures showing the importance of wearing masks and washing your hands during this time. The show was originally meant to show appreciation for healthcare workers, but it also thanked everyone else who is practicing social distancing. Wow. I don't know how they do it, Todd. I assume it's operated by computers, but that's pretty cool.
It is really amazing, right? To think that's all drones and they stay exactly where they should be and move and they don't run into each other. That's really spectacular, as I say it there. And even spelling some, I don't know if that's word or what that is, but really cool. All right. Yeah. Nothing cool about this forecast here, Lauren, that's for sure. As temperatures are going to be in the 90s, at least today and tomorrow. You may not get there Friday because Friday's the day that the cold front arrives, or a cool front if you want to call it. There behind it's not that much colder, but it is a forcing mechanism that's going to result in more numerous showers and storms on Friday. Then temperatures in the 80s over the weekend, but back up to 90 on Tuesday and even warmer as we get into the middle of next week. We'll talk more about this forecast, have your latest news headlines as well coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 4:57.